Welcome to That's a Bet podcast, where we talk about business, entrepreneurship, and technology. I got a question for you guys. Do you know how important the semiconductor microchips are that we use to put in all of our electronics? I'm just now looking into a video that I want to show you guys. It's a little bit old, but being self-employed and working for ourselves, we have to stay abreast of what's going on in the market, not just here in the United States, but globally, all over the entire world. The reason why is because the United States does not supply its own microchips for the electronics that we use. As self-employed workers, people that work for ourselves, we need to always use electronics to run our businesses. It's our phones. Our phones are like our freedom tool. Our MacBooks are like our workspaces. We take our work everywhere we go by using electronics, using software, using all different types of gadgets. But all those electronics are powered by semiconductor microchips. And it's something going on right now between the United States and China. And we need to take a look into what's going on with this. So we're going to get into this video. Without any further ado, let's get it.
The slumbering giant that is America has finally awakened.
Chips is now at the very heart of US-China tensions.
Technological leadership has been the source of U.S. strength since World War II.
We shouldn't be dependent on any one port, any one country, any one island.
An economic competition that is manageable could turn into something bigger and hotter and unmanageable.
Still calling supremacy. It's crazy.
American manufacturing, the backbone of our economy, began to get hollowed out. Companies moved jobs overseas. Today, we're down to producing only around 10% of the world's chips, despite leading the world in research and design of new chip technologies. But folks, where is it written? Where is it written that America can't lead the world once again in manufacturing?
It's hard to think of.
All right, so if you like me and you didn't know a lot about what's going on with all the microchips and why they're so important, keep in mind what President Biden just said. He said America only produces about 10% of the world's microchips. The things that we use in all of our electronics, we only produce about 10%. So where are the other 90% being produced, and where are they coming from? This is all going to start making sense. If this is new to you, I'm glad you are watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and like the video. You'll continue to see more content like this. For you guys that have been rocking with us, you already know how we get down. Let's get back into the video.
A component in any product, really, that's more ubiquitous and more essential than the semiconductor.
Today, almost any device with an on-off switch has one or often dozens or hundreds of semiconductors inside.
They power our cars, airplanes, trains, communications rely on them, factories, ordinary businesses, and finance and banks. Money moves thanks to these chips.
U.S. no longer manufactures the most innovative chips. 7 nanometers and below, Taiwan manufactures 92% of those chips. 8% of those chips are manufactured.
Taiwan produces 92% of those chips. 92% of those chips. Now it makes sense why the United States is so invested in Taiwan. This is the reason why I love bringing this type of information to you guys. It's new to me. If it's new to you, hopefully it's bringing some value to you. I don't want to feel like I'm repeating something over. This video is about 8 months old, so this is not nothing that's brand new, but it's new to me and it's new to my channel. So learning about Taiwan and how they produce so many of those microchips, it all makes sense why the United States is so invested in that. So let's pay attention to how the different presidential candidates talk about this issue with the microchips and what they may want to do as a solution for our problem with not being able to produce those here in the United States. I don't know if we can't produce them, but for some reason we just don't do it.
manufactured in South Korea, and none are manufactured in the U.S. We just want more of the new manufacturing that's coming online to happen in the U.S.
There was a sense that globalization is inevitable. We should offshore these jobs. No big deal if the Rust Belt is hollowed out. That decision is one of the reasons that the U.S. elected Donald Trump. And that is why Joe Biden is pushing industrial strategy. And that is why we are at a pendulum shift in the political economy, not just in the U.S., but in many developed countries.
When people think about industrial policy, it has been a bit of a dirty word in the U.S. politic. And hey, free market should reign. This is not like any other industry. This is so critical for the future. And I think that's why, it really deserves somewhat unique attention from an industrial policy perspective.
Members of Congress, I have the high privilege and distinct honor to present to you the President of the United States.
We're going to make sure the supply chain for America begins in America. That's why we came together to pass the Bipartisan Chips and Science Act.
This is really the crowning jewel in the Biden policy crown.
So what's behind the
Oh yeah, I think they're about to go into what's behind the CHIPS Act, and he said it was bipartisan. What do you guys think? What do you guys think the solution should be? Should it be to continue having the chips manufactured in Taiwan, or to bring some of those new manufacturers for chips here to the United States? Do we continue to, just dominate Taiwan? How, I guess, or I don't want to say dominate, but protect Taiwan from China and, have some influence over the chip market out of Taiwan? Or do we bring those here back to the United States?
CHIPS Act is an attempt to protect the economic security of the U.S. far into the future.
The whole CHIPS Act is $52.7 billion. $39 billion is for grants. There's also an investment tax credit on top of this, which gives a 25% tax credit off of any fab that's constructed or improved upon.
The focus of the CHIPS Act is
that might be a good investment. U.S. chip manufacturers, you might want to check your portfolio and do some research to see if there's any companies you could tap into.
On producing the chips that the U.S. needs for its national security requirements. The Department of Defense, the intelligence agencies, and the associated companies are going to build products for them.
As the U.S. looks to become a real leader in global chip making again, it's looking at creating centers across the country where it can build up on the skills both of the people and of the local suppliers that are needed around these large chip fabs. These are fabrication plants. These are the big factories, and they produce the wafers, like large discs of silicon, on which chips are printed and then cut. So this is really at the heart of all chip making. And these plants cost tens of billions of dollars.
You have some of the largest industrial projects.
I'm not going to lie. This is very interesting. This is my first time really digging into microchips and semiconductors, and the reason why they're so important. This is pretty fascinating. What do you guys think about this? Give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you don't like this video. Maybe I won't bring this type of content back to the channel, but me personally, I like learning about this type of stuff
that have ever been undertaken, and they're building the smallest things that have ever been built on Earth. And if we get there, we have good transistors and a good cost structure, we're going to win foundry customers, and manufacturing will shift back to the U.S. Today, the Rust Belt ends. Today, the Silicon Heartland begins.
Phoenix has been named as one of 5 U.S. workforce hubs focused on manufacturing jobs.
It is really an exciting day to be here, and this builds on 40 years that Intel has been in Arizona. We put our chips on the table, right, with this investment. Now we're going to put our shovels in the ground and get this thing underway. And we are excited for the opportunity to expand and now have over $50 billion of invested capital in the state of Arizona.
Arizona's been a center of semiconductor manufacturing in the US for several decades, but in the past couple of years it's seen major new investments, both from Intel and from TSMC, both of which are building brand new cutting-edge chip-making facilities.
Advanced manufacturing has been an incredible industry for Arizona.
There you go. You got an eye on the target now. Intel. Somebody in the chat or somebody in the comments, let me know what's going on with Intel.
Arizona, and part of the reason I'm so focused in on it as mayor is I feel that it'll develop a healthier economy, more diverse, and that so much of the future of the world's technologies will need chips, which are going to be made here in Phoenix. The CHIPS Act is going to change Phoenix forever. We have seen unemployment rates change, and we're also working on the workforce side, and we were recently selected by the White House as one of 5 workforce hubs. I'm very focused on trying to create a knowledge-based economy with high-wage jobs. That's why I'm betting on the semiconductor industry. Arizona State University has been a key partner in our semiconductor expansion.
The rate at which the technology is moving.
All right, we're going to cap it there, guys. Make sure you guys go and check out Intel. I know I'm going to go and check out Intel. I'm going to try to see if I can find some ETFs that have a good amount of Intel inside of it. But hopefully you guys got some value out of this and learned a little bit about why these microchips and these semiconductors are important for the way we operate here in the United States, especially as self-employed professionals, creators, people that aspire to work for ourselves, electronics, software, gadgets, technology. We depend on that type of stuff. Actually, the fact that we are working for ourselves somewhat puts us in position to learn about this new technology as it's coming out a lot sooner than people that are employees. So if you're an employee and your job doesn't require you to learn a new technology, then you pretty much don't have an incentive to learn something new. You can just continue doing the same thing over and over and still receive a paycheck. But for somebody like myself or somebody that's working for themselves, they actually have to acquire skills and get better because there's competition. And because we have competition, we're looking at a competitive advantage like technology and different software and different applications that we could use. So these semiconductor microchips are very important to what we do and to be successful in the things that we do. So if this video resonated with you guys, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button on the way out. Also, make sure you check the comments for the link to my mastermind community so that you can tap in with us inside our community and clubs. And as always, I will see you guys in the next video.